I'm Nastja Säde Rönkkö and I am an artist. I call myself contemporary artist because I like to move in between mediums like video or performance or text. I do feel like text is always the starting point for everything I do. Maybe it's just notes or maybe it's like the final outcome. I guess I like to look into emotions or like how emotions are played out in the society and between people and things and the world. I love Leonora Carrington's writing. She only had few books published, but I keep rereading those. And then I think like Ocean Vuong and Carson. I think texts that are a bit like between poetry and novel or things that are quite that I like to reread because they're difficult but like beautiful at the same time. I love deadlines. It sounds weird, but I feel like when you have, and I do love structure as well. I try to like start working in the morning and then, do kind of office hours. It sounds a bit boring, but I think it works. Like sometimes it's hard to like put time schedule just for yourself. So I do find it easier when there is like a deadline for something, and then you work towards something quite specific and concrete. If it's just like idea floating around in my head, it might be like harder to make it reality sometimes. Especially if it's like a bigger project. If it's like a drawing or poem, it might be easier.
Have you had creative block ever?
No.
No.
I mean, I think for me it's more like maybe editing down, so like having lots of ideas and some of them never happen and then needing to decide what works and what doesn't. So maybe I don't have time for it because like it's so much work to make something reality. I have to say like funding, I think it's always the same. There's not really enough funding in the arts anywhere. That's kind of the obvious thing. And I guess in relation to my work, like I obviously want to pay people like fair salary. I work a lot with performers or like film, so I guess everyone needs to get paid, and then just like fundraising, it's always a bit like frustrating or difficult. But yeah, I think structural problems rather than like creative, just like really practical things. The latest thing, I think it's a video work or short film called Sovana, and it looks into southern Estonian fairy tales and myths about this creature that is also, it's kind of a spirit of a fog or bog. So that was a commission for exhibition in Estonia. And what does it mean? I did try something really new in that work, and there are things that I thought worked really well and there are things that I thought didn't work. So I felt in that sense it's an important thing because it was a way to try something that I hadn't before. Well, I think this residency actually, because it's I guess sometimes it's hard to find time to write or like to start from the beginning. I have few new projects that are like really very at the beginning, so I feel like I like that I have that structure, like coming here in the morning and then just writing and working with other people. So I'm really happy about that, and I think it also I always like miss conversation because sometimes you work alone quite a lot, like whether you're in uni or art school, you have all these creative people around. So that is something I'm looking forward to.